Hey everyone, it's Karen, and on this episode, I brought narrator Ryan. Ryan, thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here.
All right, I have plenty of questions as usual, so are you ready to dive into them?
Let's do it.
All right, perfect. So the first question I have for you is, how do you prepare before even stepping into the booth? Like, do you have a specific method that you do, or like describe that for me?
All right. Well, initially I read through the book, right? Like I prep everything before I even record it, so I have a very, very good understanding of the characters I am becoming, and just the overall plot and other things that stand out to me that need addressing. That includes like highlighting character lines, making notes on the side. Like if there's a line of dialogue and at the end it says he mumbles or he whispers.
Right.
If I don't like write something ahead of time, I have to redo that line because I read after the fact, like, oh yeah, that's a whisper line. I have to be real quiet. So little things like that. I don't like to mark my script up too much because then it gets too busy. I like a pretty clean slate. It helps me be more like in the moment and more in the zone, I guess.
Like that. Yeah. I do the same thing, needing little notes ahead of time just so I can be like,
Mm.
oh, reminder, I need to say that or whatever. So yeah, I totally get that. All right. So the next question I have for you is when you're handed a script with dozens of different characters, how do you map out and distinguish like your voices between the accents and your core, like all that? How do you do that?
So first I'll ask the author or rights holder if they have a list of characters and what they perceive them to sound like. They give me like more direction, and then I just take it from there. Um, if they do or they don't, I create these characters ahead of time, going through the notes, make vocal like snippets, and send them to the rights holder for approval ahead of time. And then all those snippets get saved into my digital audio workstation, my DAW. And throughout the book, as I'm recording, I'm constantly going back and re-listening to these initial snippets just to make sure that I get like reset back to the original voice. Because if I don't do that throughout the end of the book, you compare the beginning and the end, those voices can sound a little different as the like book progresses. So I always like to like go back and reset those voices.
All right. The next question I have for you is how much creativity freedom do you have with a book like following the exact direction of an author or the director? How much creativity do you get to have?
It really depends.
Hmm.
Um, Depends on the project. Typically, I'll have a lot of creativity. Like I'm not directed. You can, sometimes it's pretty rare, but you can be in a live directed session to where you and maybe like your co-narrator are in the same environment with a director that's listening in live and making you like redo stuff and directing you on the spot. It's really rare, and I've never done that personally yet. So I typically get a lot of creativity and a lot of freedom, which I think is needed, right? Like we are creative
Yes.
artists. Like this is what we're paid to do, is to make that real, like nuanced, natural sound for these characters. And if there's ever like someone that's like really nitpicky, it tends to pull away from the natural sound that the narrator can provide the project. So I definitely like being given like a lot of like creative freedom with like a little bit of direction, like like I said before, with the character voices, kind of an idea of what the author wants them to sound like, and then allows me to take it from there is like a good happy medium.
Like that. Yeah. I feel like you would need creativity like more, I feel like I don't know, narrators need a lot more creativity than, I don't know, maybe the author, because the narrator's really got to figure out what the author's even trying to do with their words and stuff. So you all
Yeah,
really
for sure.
amaze me. Like, I don't
Oh,
get,
thank you.
you're welcome. All right. So the next question I have for you is, can you talk about a time when you struggled to connect with a specific character? How did you overcome it and deliver an authentic performance?
Okay, yes, this actually has happened to me recently. There was a female character. It was for for an audition
Oh,
that I didn't have a lot of backstory, and so I really need to like nail this this audition, and I didn't get a lot of feeling from the character, which is a main character, and needed to have more information there. And I was really struggling with this in particular. I was working with a coach at the time, and she helped me kind of through this. And basically, like you really end up like doing like a day in the life of this character and write down everything you do know, all these facts, no matter how small they are. And then from there, kind of go in like a natural day that this character would live in,
okay.
what they, like what they do the first thing that they wake up. Um,
Mhm.
like, do they put slippers on? What color are they? Like, well, you get
Yeah.
real nitty gritty, and then you like, and if you don't have that information, you just create it up on the spot. You know what seems natural for this character that's in your head, pretty much,
Mhm.
and then go through the day in the life of with this character and write down everything that you've like created, and then from there, when you're all done, then you kind of create this voice and you get more of
Mhm.
an idea of like their motivations. And from there, you can kind of develop what they should sound like and kind of more of their vocal characteristics. And it seems real silly, but it's really effective.
No, I actually like that. I mean, I never even thought of getting all the way down to this. As soon as you said slippers, I'm like, mine has white bunny slippers. It's got little
Exactly.
ears on it.
And then you roll with it, and it's like, okay, and then what else do they do? What do they eat that morning? Do they skip breakfast? Are they
Right.
busy? You know, that sort of thing. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of fun. And I used to do improv, so like that's my world right there. I eat that up big time.
Nice. Yeah, like I said, I never even would have thought of having to be a day in the life of your character. When I was thinking about doing narrating, I was thinking about, oh, well, I can just read the book ahead of time and then that will spark my creativity. But actually, yeah, you really kind of do need to become that character, even if you're not like being the actor or actress, you're being the narrator, which is still kind of being the actor or actress, but not physically. But yeah,
Yeah,
I
we're
like
most
that.
definitely actors and
Yeah.
actresses. It's, yeah,
I
we
mean,
don't have to do the bodily portion, which is great. We just have
right.
to focus on this thing.
Yes. All right. So the next question I have for you is many listeners don't realize how physically demanding narration is. What does your vocal warm-up routine look like, and how do you protect your voice during the recording session?
Yeah, this is really, really important. Like, not enough people actually talk about this, and
Okay.
I've done videos on it too, where like in order to perform, you have to be like physically ready, and our mouth is an instrument. Like it needs
Yes.
warming up, and like that will help you both like deliver a better performance and keep your voice like healthy in the long run too. It's like working out. You don't just jump on the heaviest kettlebell you can find and start doing
Yeah.
some crazy routine because you're going to hurt yourself. The same thing with the voices. So like what I do, it kind of depending on what I need for that morning. Like sometimes my mouth is real fumbly, so I'll have to do more like tongue twisters. Um, or it's really tired if it's kind of like the end of the day and I haven't been drinking enough water, which is another thing. Like always be drinking water, always. Um, my my vocal warm-ups change throughout the day. So I'll do like actual physical warm-ups where I'm moving my mouth like open and like lips and teeth and stuff.
Okay.
And then I'll also do like lip trills. A lot of those like that. That's super helpful. And then like for articulators, that's like your T's and your P's and your K's. I just do like some gobbledygook, just to kind of get the tongue working in the back of the throat. And then there's your different cavities of your mouth. So you got like your nasal cavity for like your nasally voice like this. I'll start reading like this a little bit to kind of open up that cavity back there.
Yeah.
And then the other side of it where it's like open in here. This so I'll be reading like this a lot, and it's really ridiculous, but it really opens up the back of my throat back here. So like little things like that. But it changes. Like I don't like doing the same thing over and over and over and over again because I'll get bored. So
Right.
I like to like change it up what I need for that session. And then for keeping my voice healthy, I actually have the propolis
Nice.
spray. Propolis spray is good. Water is essential. And then knowing when to stop. Like honestly, there are times where like I'm in the middle of a chapter, I'm like, I cannot finish this. Especially if it's like if there's a voice that is like really growly like this, like real in the back. Like I don't really do like that growly, but just to like emphasize like that
Yeah.
right there is really taxing on my voice. And if I do that too long, my normal narrator voice will get a little gravelly and I'll start like losing
Okay.
like definition. So knowing when to stop, knowing your limits, knowing like how much you can do of one voice. For example, if you have an audition and the voice is super low, understand like what you're capable of doing. There's some that I don't audition for because I know that I cannot do that voice for a whole book. If it's a small character and it's just the character lines, sure, yeah, I can knock that out. But if it's their perspective and I have to like
Oh,
narrate
yeah.
in that voice and I'm gonna be doing like 10 hours of this, maybe I can do it, but it's gonna take me a lot longer. And so like
Right.
if they really want me, I'll be like, okay, like look, this is gonna take me like 4 weeks instead of my usual 2 weeks for a 10-hour book. So it's
Yeah.
like just knowing your limits is really huge in protecting your voice.
I like that. I didn't actually know there was that spray, but that does make sense that
Mm,
you need that. I mean, I knew the water thing, but because I'm obsessed with water, like that's all I drink. But yeah, that's nice. Having different other than
yeah.
just like your normal exercises, you actually have something else beneficial. So I like that.
Yeah. Tea is good too.
Oh,
Throat
okay.
coat is amazing. So yeah, plenty of tea. Like a little lemon in your water is great. That sort of thing. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Moving along to the next question I have for you is how do you handle the emotional exhaustion of narrating an incredible, heavy, dark, and tragic scene and then transitioning right back to your normal life?
Yeah, that can be tough for a lot of people. Not so much for me. I have a military background, and so I did
Oh,
a
okay.
lot of that already. Like especially like coming home from deployments, is like you need to have like you need to separate your life. Like you need to leave work at work and leave home at home. It's the same thing in the booth. When I walk in the booth, my outside world is like non-existent, so I can like just fully like immerse myself into the character. And concurrently, once I'm done, that world stays here in the booth, and I don't take it out with me. And it helps me when I do because I have that voice that people love for real dark stuff, and so I do a lot of that. And being able to separate that is monumental because yeah, it can be taxing, especially when certain things you narrate remind you of stuff that you've encountered in your life. Like we all kind of have our baggage and our own experiences, and there are some things that I just won't narrate because it's too close to home, right? I won't be able to separate those two. So again, knowing your boundaries and like knowing what you really shouldn't narrate is good, you know, healthy for you. You don't have to do it.
I agree with him. Listen to what Ryan is saying. You don't have to do it. Like it's
Yeah,
it's it's beneficial, I promise. Because as he
protect
said, we do.
yourself.
Right. There you go. All right. Next question I have for you is, can you walk us through your typical recording workflow? How do you balance the performance side with like your technical side and editing and mastering and all that fun stuff?
I definitely have to separate them. There's some people, and it's going to change for everyone, but for me, like when I'm in the moment and I'm narrating, there's no editing, there's no mastering on that day. That is a narration day. And then, you know, once I'm done with the book, then I go back and now it's time for like I put my editing cap on, um, and I'm able to like just fully immerse myself. I kind of have ADHD a little bit, so it really helps
Oh,
for me to
fun.
compartmentalize. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like okay, now put on this hat and I do this now, and just like get zoned in. And yeah, I'll go through an editing phase and mastering. They kind of go hand in hand, but one definitely goes before the other. I do all the editing first, and then I master, but they're kind of the same thing, so I can do those at the same time. Yeah, separating the two for sure. And then like understanding, like before I even book the gig, making sure that I give myself the appropriate amount of time for each, you know, because I could be like, oh, like this is going to take me like 2 weeks to narrate. But then I also have to like consider like how difficult is the editing going to be? How difficult is the mastering going to be? If it's just me, if it's just a solo narrator in a book, way easier. Once I start having to do other voices, other narrators, if I'm doing that, which I can and have, I have to give myself a lot more time for that, just because I have to match their room tone because they're recording in a different room, so their room tone is going to sound different, and then the way that their voice reacts in that environment is going to sound different, and then trying to like combine those two together is where the magic happens, and it's very difficult. So I just understand that that's going to take me more time, and so I allocate appropriately.
You actually kind of made me want to start editing my video, my podcast, because normally I try to do everything the same day because I don't know. I like I'm an overachiever, I guess. I don't know what's wrong with me. But
That's okay.
but the taking the time because I haven't got to edit my last podcast video from this week. So yeah, I'm learning needing time actually makes things flow a lot better. So thank you for bringing it up. And I think I need to actually listen to you and everybody else because it seems like I keep getting told the same things by different people. And it's like you're not even telling me, you're just answering a question. So I'm like,
Right. Yeah.
maybe I need to slow down a little bit. So, all right. Next question I have for you is with the massive rise of audiobooks, what are the biggest changes or trends you've noticed in the industry over the last few years?
Um, so I'd say from way back in the day when you had like books on tape. I don't know if you ever like did that, but I did like you had the CDs or the
Yeah.
actual cassette tapes, um, where you'd listen in the car and have to like flip the tape over,
Yep. We did,
switch to
yeah,
side B.
CD-ROMs. I remember the CDs.
Yeah, and the CDs and just being able to stream this stuff now is really huge. Um, but I think like one of the biggest things that's different now is pretty much anybody being able to do this from their home. Like back in the day, you'd have to go to an actual studio and, you
Right.
know, record when they're open and, you know, schedule times that you can like use their space and their equipment because it costs thousands of dollars. Whereas now you can get stuff on Amazon or,
Yeah.
you know, anywhere online for like you can get a pretty decent entry level microphone for like $200, and it's just pretty amazing how much the technology has advanced that you
Yeah.
can develop studio sounding stuff with like a little bit of room treatment and a decent microphone. And you don't need to spend like $10,000 on like a studio space. So I think that's probably one of the biggest things.
Yep. I I'm gonna actually try to talk to my bank about getting this podcast turned into a real business. So I've been looking, what brought it up was you were saying you can buy everything on Amazon. And it's true,
You
because I've
can.
been looking at all the like stuff because I want to get like sound padding and stuff for my room and an actual mic, better mic and stuff. Like my travel set's good, but I just feel like my home set needs a lot of work. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. All right, next question I have for you is how does it feel to know that your voice is the sole companion for listeners on long commutes, during workouts, or while falling asleep? Have you had any memorable fan interactions?
Um, I try not to think about it too much. I feel like that if I get in my head too much about that, that is going to end up like changing up the delivery of my performance. Um, it does help me continue to push through with like between the periods of not booking and dealing with like imposter syndrome and the endurance factor of sticking to one project for weeks, if not months sometimes, can be so difficult. But at the end of the day, the work you are doing is going to hopefully make it to someone's ears and bring them a story. And I mean, that's all that I can ultimately hope for. Like as long as I'm doing like the author's like goodwill or like their intent, like what they wanted, then I could rest easy. Like I try not to focus too much on the fans because it's like they say, like you can't please everyone. You're
Yeah.
always gonna have like someone that's gonna complain about your voice, which is fine. Like everyone has their opinions, and that's totally okay. And I understand that my voice is not gonna be great for everyone. It's not gonna be great for every author. Not gonna be great for every book. And I think that's the beauty of this industry is that like I have a bunch of friends in VO and we're all like real supportive because we all understand that not every project is ours. Like my voice is not perfect for every project. So I might know someone that it is. Someone comes to me and be like, "Hey, you want to do this book?" And I look at it, I'm like, "Oh, this isn't good for me." But I know someone who would be great at this, and it's really heartwarming the way that this industry kind of works that way. Very different from like your typical like actors industry. And I just like I I I love that. I'm in probably 8 Discord groups. We're all just like friends. It's fantastic.
Nice. All right. Next question I have for you is what is the hardest genre to narrate? And conversationally, like what is the most rewarding as well?
Okay. This will change for everyone. Um, I think for me personally, the hardest genre would have to be I don't know. It's tough. I'd like to say sci-fi because of all the voices, but I kind of like love that realm. So I think maybe like romance is probably hardest for me because I don't read romance. Like
Yeah.
it's not really in my like interest wheelhouse. I have the voice for it and I do it, but it's like it's just difficult for me. Um, Whereas like being able to do sci-fi and or like space operas where I get to do like aliens and orcs and stuff, that is taxing and is like a little challenging. Um, but it's so much fun. So like I'm having fun doing it, and so this just makes it easier. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
psychologically easier.
Yep.
Um,
I
so
agree.
yeah. So like the most rewarding would have to be, um, I think for me, the most rewarding would be like a challenging piece that really blows the author away. Like when I get feedback from them and they're like, I didn't realize like how what am I trying to say? Like how good this could sound, like before getting someone to record something, and then like hearing my words on the page like being brought to life, like really warms my heart. Or coming from the author, like those kind of comments like really sit well in my soul. Like, okay, I did the author, I did what the author wanted,
Right.
and you know, just like I did a good job. And like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn. It's just like when I do something successfully and it's what they wanted, like then I was like, okay, cool. That feels good. Like that's rewarding to me.
Yeah.
And then, because it's like once I record this stuff and send it off, like it's now theirs. Like it's no longer mine. I can't go back and change it. So it's like it's done. And
Yeah.
so like I need to be able to like take that off my chest and pass it off and be like, okay, here's this baby,
Yeah.
enjoy it. And if they come and they're like taking, they're like, I hate this. I would feel terrible. So even if it was like rewarding to me, like, yeah, it sounded so good to me, and they're like, nah, I don't like this, I would feel terrible. Concurrently,
Yeah.
if there's something that I was like, I tried my best. It was really hard, but I tried my best. Here you go. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is this this is so cool. Thank you for doing this. I'm like, yes, that feels so good. And so, so I think like to answer that question for being it rewarding, like it really depends on how it's received for me.
Nice. All right. I got three more questions for you, and then we're going to wrap up really quick. So,
Okay.
the next question I have for you is if you could narrate any book from history, regardless of genre or the rights, what would it be and why?
This question is so incredibly hard for me. To the
Well,
point where like I was thinking about this and I can't narrow it down to one. I just can't. I tried and I cannot. I have three actually.
okay.
One of them is Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card. I read this when I was a kid, and it has shaped my love for like that genre of both like young adult, uh, where they go to like school and stuff and learn something. If you've never read the book, it's this kid that goes to like space camp, and he ends up like being really good and natural leader, and it's the way that Card writes it is just incredible, just absolutely mind-blowing. I just love the environment that he creates and the suspense behind it. It's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite books of all time. And I know it's already been recorded, so I don't get to do that, but it would be really fun to do that. Another one would be kind of in the same vein, would be Neverending Story, because that book, the movie rather, has been like very near and dear to both mine and my sister's hearts. We would watch it together when we were young and just laugh the whole way through. Is just, we found it so funny and endearing, and it's just such a amazing story that I would love to narrate. And I might just do that just for my own personal gain, is
Yeah.
narrate that book and then like give it to my sister. Because yeah, it would just be awesome. And then the third one is the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, which has already been turned into a movie or several movies. But
Yep.
that one has been, I've been a fan of that for many years. I actually have a tattoo of
Oh,
the Dark
cool.
Tower on my body with roses and the whole 9 yards. Um, yeah, Stephen King's ability to like create this like fantasy world with this gunslinger. Oh my gosh, it just it really like tickles my fancy in so many genres all at once. Like the way that he's able, like the three doors and like moving between worlds and the timelines that come together. it's incredible. I love it, and the characters are so lovable and so much fun. And if I were able to like bring that story to life, it would be amazing. So
Awesome.
I cannot choose one book.
It's okay. All right, next question is what's the best piece of advice that you've received and that applies to both voice acting and your daily life?
I would say I mentioned being an improv before, and in improv we were always taught hear us now. What that means is like what's going on here, as in like the
Uh,
present,
yeah.
and uh, what is going on between us, between yourself and your scene partner,
Okay.
and what is happening right now, this very second. Not what we do yesterday or what are we going to go do. Developing a great scene is by staying present. And I feel like that is very relevant to our lives, our daily lives, is just being present with who you are with at that time. And, you know, not not being separated and distracted, just being present and enjoying company, um, and just like experiencing the present moment as it is, and just enjoying it, I guess.
Nice. All right. Last question is where can our listeners find your latest projects and connect with you online? I know you have an Instagram because that's where I found you, but like, is there any other way
Yep.
that anybody can get a hold of you?
My website is a great like start off point. Um,
Okay.
narratorryan.com. Very easy, very simple. I like to keep things simple. And I'm also on Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn, and it's all tagged Narrator Ryan. It's all the same. Snagged that up while I could and just got it for everything. So it's all easy to remember. Narrator Ryan.
Nice. Yeah, unfortunately, my Facebook is Karen's creative world of art instead of all my TikTok, Thread, Instagram, like all my other social medias is all Karen's world of art. I'm like, ugh, why Facebook? Why? Why did you tell me no? So
Oh, that
yeah,
sucks.
yeah. But anyways, thank you again for joining us today, and thank you everyone else for joining me and Ryan today. So I appreciate everybody. Thank you.
Thank you guys. And thank you, Karen. It's been a pleasure.
Yep. And I will drop down below in the comments all of his information as usual for all of my people that I interview so that if you want to reach out to him or if you don't want to, you can reach out to me and I can get you to him or whatever. Like, I don't know. There's plenty of information going to be down below in the comments. So, again, thank you everybody for joining and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye. Okay. So, let's